Sword. The sword, one of history's most iconic weapons, transcends mere utility to symbolize martial prowess and chivalric honor across numerous cultures. Its diverse forms reflect the technological advancements and strategic necessities of different civilizations. For example, the Roman gladius, famed for its effectiveness in close combat, was designed for stabbing during tight formation battles. Its short, double-edged blade made it ideal for thrusting at an enemy's midsection beneath the shield wall. On the other hand, the Japanese katana, with its curved, slender, and single-edged blade, epitomizes the craftsmanship and warrior ethos of the samurai. The katana was not merely a weapon but a spiritual symbol, embodying the samurai's values and the artistry of the swordsmiths. This weapon required years of training to master, focusing on precision, control, and the swift execution of decisive cuts. Swords across different cultures were not only tools of war but also objects of great artistic expression, often adorned with intricate designs and imbued with cultural and religious significance. Spear. The spear is one of the most ancient and universally utilized weapons in human history. Its simplicity, a long shaft with a pointed tip, belies its strategic depth and versatility in various forms of warfare. Spears were accessible to produce and could be used by foot soldiers and cavalry alike. In phalanx warfare, famously practiced by the Greeks, the spear was part of a collective approach to combat where rows of soldiers would interlock shields and project their spears outward, creating a formidable barrier against oncoming enemies. This method emphasized unity and discipline, leveraging the spear's length to keep enemies at bay while maintaining a defensive stance. Beyond its role in formations, the spear was equally potent as a throwing weapon, allowing warriors to engage adversaries from a distance. Its impact on hunting practices also cannot be understated. The spear enabled early humans to tackle larger game, profoundly influencing societal development. As a weapon that could be adapted for various materials and situations, the spear represents both the primal instincts and the strategic evolution of warfare.
Click subscribe to this channel to get more topics you love.
Bow and arrow. The bow and arrow represent a pivotal advancement in ancient weaponry, enabling human beings to engage targets from a significant distance, altering the dynamics of both hunting and warfare. This weapon's origins trace back tens of thousands of years, with evidence of its use across continents, from the steppes of Mongolia to the forests of North America. The bow and arrow offered several strategic advantages. It allowed combatants to strike from a safe distance, it was lethal in silent hunting, and it could be deployed en masse to rain down volleys on enemy formations or fortifications. Different cultures adapted the bow to their needs. The English longbow, for example, had a profound effect during the Middle Ages, famously at the Battle of Agincourt, while the shorter, composite bows of the Mongols were crucial for mounted warfare, allowing for rapid, multidirectional shooting. The bow's evolution reflects a blend of technological innovation and tactical necessity, making it a weapon that not only extended the reach of warriors but also expanded the scope of military tactics. Shield. The shield, more than a piece of defensive equipment, was central to the warfare tactics of ancient civilizations. It served not only to protect the bearer from blows and projectiles but also played a crucial role in the offensive strategies of groups like the Roman legions and the Greek hoplites. The design of the shield varied widely. The Greek hoplon was a heavy, round shield that covered a significant portion of the warrior's body, facilitating the famous phalanx formation where hoplites would lock their shields together to form an almost impenetrable wall, advancing with spears thrust out from behind this cover. The Viking shield, on the other hand, was lighter and typically round, designed to be more mobile, often used to deflect blows in more dynamic combat scenarios. Shields were often personalized with painted symbols and motifs that identified individual warriors or the communities to which they belonged, serving as both protective gear and a canvas for expressing identity and allegiance. Axe. The axe in ancient warfare was both a tool and a weapon, a dual-purpose implement that was as useful in camp as it was deadly in battle. Originating as a basic tool for chopping wood, the axe was adapted into various forms for combat, one of the most notable being the Norse battle axe. This version was characterized by a larger, heavier blade and a longer handle, allowing warriors to deliver powerful, cleaving blows that could penetrate armor or shields. The psychological impact of the axe should not be underestimated. It was a fearsome weapon that could cause devastating injuries, adding an element of terror on the battlefield. Axes could also be thrown, adding a tactical range component to their use. The evolution of the axe as a weapon is a testament to its effectiveness in both individual and group combat scenarios, favored for its brutal efficiency and relative ease of manufacture. Chariot. The chariot was one of the most strategic and prestigious war vehicles of ancient times, used notably by the Egyptians, Chinese, and Romans. Its introduction marked a revolution in military tactics and social prestige. In ancient Egypt, chariots were integral to the pharaoh's army and royal imagery, often seen as a symbol of divine authority and terrestrial power. Egyptian chariots were lightweight and fast, designed for archers to shoot while moving rapidly across the battlefield, disrupting enemy lines and executing flanking maneuvers. In contrast, the use of chariots in China during the Shang and Zhou dynasties was heavily influenced by the need for effective coordination and massed attacks, often forming the core of the military forces in large-scale battles. Chariots also played a ceremonial role, used in triumphal processions and royal hunts, underscoring their status as symbols of elite status and military prowess. The complexity of driving a chariot, which required precise control over both the vehicle and the horses, meant that charioteers were often specially trained and highly valued in ancient societies. The tactical advantages provided by chariots, speed, height, and mobility, made them a dominant force on the battlefield until changes in military tactics and the terrain of engagements rendered them less effective compared to cavalry. Dagger. The dagger, often overshadowed by its longer cousin the sword, holds a unique place in the annals of weaponry. This small, double-edged blade was designed for thrusting and cutting, making it an excellent choice for close combat where larger weapons might prove cumbersome. In ancient Rome, the pugio, a type of dagger, was a standard issue for soldiers, serving not only as a weapon but also as a tool for daily tasks, such as eating and cutting materials. The versatility of the dagger made it a favorite for personal defense and stealth operations. Due to its size, it was easily concealed, allowing for surprise attacks and a secondary defense if a primary weapon was lost or broken. Daggers were often crafted with elaborate designs and precious materials, reflecting the status and wealth of the owner. In many cultures, daggers also held ceremonial value, used in rituals or as symbols of power. The intimate nature of the dagger, requiring close engagement with the opponent, made it a very personal weapon, often associated with acts of bravery or treachery. Javelin. The javelin is a light, typically wooden spear designed primarily for throwing, utilized in both warfare and ancient athletic games. Unlike its heavier counterpart used in phalanx formations, the javelin was meant to disrupt enemy lines from a distance before close combat began. Its use by ancient Greek warriors exemplifies the combination of athleticism and tactical warfare, as the javelin required strength, precision, and skill to effectively target opponents. The javelin was not just a battlefield implement but also a key component of the pentathlon in the ancient Olympic Games, demonstrating its dual significance in both martial and athletic prowess. This light spear could be thrown with one hand, allowing the bearer to carry a shield in the other, thus maintaining a defensive posture while engaging the enemy from afar. The psychological impact of a volley of javelins could be significant, softening enemy formations and lowering morale before the main clash of infantry forces. The versatility and strategic importance of the javelin make it a standout in the array of ancient weaponry, bridging the gap between physical competition and tactical military engagement. Mace. The mace, a blunt force weapon made predominantly of stone or metal, embodies the raw and brutal aspect of ancient combat. Used across ancient Europe and Asia, the mace was designed to crush armor and break bones, a task it performed with terrifying efficiency. Its construction was simple, a strong, often wooden handle topped with a heavy, usually spherical head. This simplicity made the mace durable and deadly, requiring minimal maintenance compared to edged weapons. In the hands of a skilled warrior, the mace could be swung to deliver powerful blows that could penetrate even well-armored foes, making it a favored weapon among infantry and cavalry alike. The mace also held a ceremonial and symbolic role in many cultures, representing authority and command. Kings and chieftains often carried ornate maces as symbols of their power to command and judge, a practice that has continued in some legislative assemblies to this day. The enduring image of the mace as both a weapon of war and an emblem of authority highlights its deep cultural and practical significance. Sling. The sling, an ancient projectile weapon, is notable for its simplicity and effectiveness. Consisting of a small pouch attached to 2 strings, the sling was used to hurl stones or lead bullets at high speeds. This weapon is famously associated with the biblical tale of David and Goliath, wherein the young shepherd David defeats the giant warrior Goliath with a single stone from his sling. The sling's advantages include portability, ease of manufacture, and the abundance of ammunition in the form of stones. It required considerable skill and practice to use effectively, as the slinger needed to whirl the sling above their head and release one of the strings at precisely the right moment to achieve accuracy and distance. In skilled hands, the sling was a deadly weapon capable of breaking bones and causing severe injuries at a distance, allowing slingers to stand back from the main combat lines. In several ancient armies, groups of slingers were used to harass and weaken enemy formations before or during the main engagement. The sling's role in warfare, often underestimated, underscores the ingenuity of using simple technology to great effect. Composite Bow. The composite bow, a sophisticated advancement in bow design, was made from a combination of materials such as wood, horn, and sinew, each chosen for its specific property to enhance the strength, flexibility, and range of the bow. This technology allowed the composite bow to store more energy than simple wooden longbows, making it capable of greater power and accuracy over long distances. Originating in the steppes of Central Asia, the composite bow was a crucial part of the nomadic warrior's arsenal, notably used by the Mongols during their conquests. Its compact size made it ideal for use from horseback, offering mobility and speed in warfare, which were key elements of the Mongolian military tactics. The composite bow's design was highly efficient in terms of load and release dynamics, allowing for rapid shooting which could overwhelm opponents before they were within range to respond effectively. This was especially advantageous in open terrain where mobility and long-range engagements dominated the tactics of warfare. Furthermore, the composite bow was not limited to large-scale battles, it was also used in hunting, providing sustenance and training for warriors. The bow's ability to deliver multiple shots quickly and with considerable force made it a feared and respected weapon in both hunting and combat scenarios. The introduction of the composite bow into different cultures often led to significant shifts in military tactics, emphasizing the use of ranged units and the importance of superior weaponry in achieving victory. Its impact on warfare can be seen in various historical contexts, where its adoption often led to shifts in the balance of power. The composite bow's enduring legacy is evident in its continued use and adaptation in various forms even after the advent of gunpowder weapons, highlighting its effectiveness and the ingenuity of its design. Scimitar. The scimitar, with its distinctive curved blade, is a sword that became synonymous with the Middle Eastern regions where it was popularized. Its design is not merely aesthetic but highly functional. The curve of the blade enables the wielder to strike with both powerful chopping motions and quick slashing actions. This versatility made the scimitar especially deadly in close combat and mounted warfare, where the ability to deliver effective cuts from horseback was paramount. The scimitar's edge, typically kept razor-sharp, was ideal for the sweeping blows necessary to break through the light armor and clothing typical of the region. Beyond its practical applications in battle, the scimitar also held a cultural significance, often associated with the image of the desert warrior and the noble Arabian horseman, figures imbued with values of honor, bravery, and freedom. The elegance of the scimitar, combined with its effectiveness in combat, made it a symbol of power and status, often richly decorated and treated as a treasured possession. This weapon encapsulates the fusion of art and function, embodying the spirit and artistic heritage of the Middle Eastern cultures that wielded it.